The Nutcracker must be one of the most performed ballets around the world. It's a Christmas story. It's a ballet that definitely appeals to families, to youngsters. In the creation of the ballet, Tchaikovsky wrote music that's not just inspiring and with great depth, but very accessible, with fabulous melodies. Everybody knows the melodies of the Nutcracker, and that must be one of his everlasting legacies. The new production that Queensland Ballet have is choreographed by Ben Stevenson. It's an existing production that has been done all around the world. The great strength of it is it's a very traditional Nutcracker. It's a beautiful Nutcracker. The score is played almost exactly as Tchaikovsky wrote it.
For me, music comes first. You know, you hear music. I always have the classical station on in my car. So if I hear something really nice, you know, I think, oh, I'd like to do something to that. So it's music that drives me. Nutcracker, Sleeping Beauty, Swan Lake, the Tchaikovsky ballets, they're famous because of the wonderful music. And really, Nutcracker is Tchaikovsky's most challenging score.
In terms of finding the right tempo for working with dancers, I would say that a lot of that is down to how the choreographer wishes the piece to go, because there might be a dance number that really could be danced at a wide variety of tempi, but each one will have a different look and a different feel when you look at it. So if a choreographer's got a really clear vision of what he or she wants, then that actually makes it very easy for me.
Andrew has brought that music, live music, to life. He is really the connection between the musicians and the dancers. And he really be able to mesh the two art forms together very well.
Tchaikovsky's music, of course it's an extremely popular score. The melodies are famous, they're very well known, but there are many other aspects of the score that make it a marvelous composition to listen to, whether you're a musician or not. There are some extraordinary things about the score that, for me as a musician, I understand it in a very technical way, but the technical things that I understand are also felt subliminally by anybody who's not a musician.
The music in Nutcracker is so magical, and so when we have the live music accompanying the dancers, the Queensland Symphony Orchestra have fabulous players, so they really bring that score to life. So that's going to enhance that experience for the dancers. So when they hear the live music so close to them, that evoke some kind of emotion in them, excitement.
I think it's his most contemporary score. And although there are beautiful melodies, also the Mice and Soldiers gets quite contemporary, I think, for Tchaikovsky. And the delicacy of the Sugar Plum Fairy, the crystal feeling of her is right there in the music.
And they are so danceable. I guess he wrote the music specifically with the story in mind, with the characters in mind. So when you see what the dancers are doing, it's exactly what it says in the music. When you see the Sugar Plum Fairy dancing the most delicate, most sort of surreal solos, or if you see the walls of flowers, and when you only need to close your eyes, you can't help yourself, but you want to waltz along with that beautiful music.
He also uses the orchestra in a very unique way, very unlike his two other great ballets, Swan Lake and Sleeping Beauty. He uses a woodwind section with extra instruments in it, all of whom have very soloistic lines and beautiful melodic writing for them. And of course, the most famous instrument in the Nutcracker score is the celesta, which is an instrument which he had found in Paris some years ago on his way back from conducting his music in America. And he'd used it in a tone poem before, but of course everybody knows the celesta as being the famous Sugar Plum Fairy solo instrument in Nutcracker. At the beginning of Act 2, we've arrived in the land of the Sugar Plum Fairy, and it's the land of the sweets. And he has two harps, he has a celesta playing together, he has flutes who flutter tongue. They make a sound on the flute by moving their tongue very fast over the embouchure, and it makes a whole different sound world. My role as music director in the rehearsal process for a full-length ballet like the Nutcracker is attending rehearsals with dancers in the studio with piano and actually conducting those rehearsals. So the dancers get used to me actually conducting, and I also get used to seeing them. A lot of rehearsals with principal dancers for the main solo roles. Then I will have rehearsals with the orchestra, in this case the Queensland Symphony. And then the orchestra will join the dancers for some rehearsals in the theatre before we give our final dress rehearsal on opening night. So one of the most wonderful things about conducting one of the great full-length story ballets is that as a conductor, you feel like you're a part of the drama that's happening on stage. It is a really amazing experience when the musicians and the dancers are creating this drama, this story, this emotion from the beginning right to the end of the ballet, and it all comes together like this.
The only reason dance is there is because music is there. And so when you can combine the power of music and the dance together, then it would give the audience that most enchanting special experience.